All right, so we have another Packers, Aaron Rodgers trade rumor to sort of go over, which seems to be a common theme this offseason as Aaron Rodgers still continues to be on the Packers roster, even though the Jets claim he is 100% going to be a New York Jet. We're going to see if this is going to happen, and I think the Jets are going to have to cave eventually. That's my take on this situation because they basically promised the Jets organization, the Jets fan base, Aaron Rodgers, and I think Brian Gutekunst knows this, and he will hold out till the Jets give what Brian Gutekunst wants. That's what I think. But I want to go into this newest rumor. I broke it down on my newsletter, so I appreciate everyone who has supported that. I appreciate you guys a ton, and I'm starting to write more and more stuff over there, so stay tuned. And if you want to subscribe, you can click the link down below and get all my Packers writing, everything going forward. But looking into this situation, I actually saw it for the first time yesterday. I saw this rumor pop up because I'm always trying to see if anything is happening that maybe I haven't noticed. And it seemed to be somewhat quiet. There weren't many big publications really talking about it. And so diving into the rumor at first, I was like, I'm not sure if this has any merit, if this is true. So I would just sort of let it slide. But it seems to have picked up some more steam today. So I figured I would address it and give my thoughts on it. So the reason at first why I wasn't sure, we just honestly with rumors, we don't know what is true, what is not true. Anyone can make anything up. Maybe this isn't made up. Maybe it is. We just don't know. But I was looking through it, and the initial article from this rumor came out from NFL Analysis Network. At first, when I was reading it, I thought it said NFL Network, so I sort of just took it as true because, lots of times, the NFL reporters, they're not usually trying to make stuff up. But then as I dove into it, I realized, this is not NFL Network. It's NFL Analysis Network. And, so you can take that as it is. But this is what they said. Supposedly, they talked with a NFL executive who had this information. Is this NFL executive real? Is it made up? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's completely true. That's a thing we just don't know. So this is what exactly they had to say in this article. Let me find it. Let me pull it up. I thought I had it, and here it is. They said this. You can now add another team to that list. According to a former NFL executive that spoke to NFL Analysis Network, the Tennessee Titans have reached out to the Packers about Aaron Rodgers. While the executive does caution that a deal with the Jets is most likely, the Titans are a team to watch should those talks actually fall through. While the likely outcome for Aaron Rodgers is still the Jets, the Titans have reached out recently. If things fall apart with New York, Tennessee would have a shot at acquiring him. But honestly, when you look at the Titans, while Aaron Rodgers would definitely help their team, he would help any team. He would help most teams who are somewhat quarterback needy. I just don't feel like the Titans, the move for the Titans right now is to make a big trade for Aaron Rodgers. Their wide receiver room is greatly lacking after trading away A.J. Brown last offseason to the Eagles, who greatly benefited from A.J. Brown, getting to that team. And I thought that trade was sort of interesting for the Titans to trade away A.J. Brown, for a first-round pick to pick Treylon Burks instead, who could be great, but to trade a talent where what he already is in A.J. Brown away was interesting. And so now the Titans receiving core is just pretty thin right now. Maybe they make a move for someone else, but right now, even if Rodgers came to that team, I don't think they're going to be, one of the top teams, in the NFL, even with Rodgers getting added to that roster. Or if he does go to the Jets have one of the best defenses in the NFL, lots of, great receiver talent on offense as well. So it makes much more sense there. But the Titans were the 28th ranked scoring offense last year, so they could use Rodgers and his talent, no doubt. But I think when you look at Rodgers' contract, the fact that it is a pretty massive contract for a team to take on, the fact that Rodgers could leave after one season, I just don't think the Titans are in a position to make a huge playoff push with Rodgers added to that team. Their chances do go up a lot. I think they'd be a maybe like a 9-8 kind of team with Rodgers, maybe 10-7 if Rodgers was on that roster. So technically, when you're sort of that middle of the road team, 9-8, 8-9. You have a chance to get hot when the playoffs start, and I think if you have Rodgers, there's no telling that anyone could make a playoff push with Aaron Rodgers. But I just think when you look at the Titans, it would be very risky for them to sort of make a push for Rodgers for one season. Whereas for the Jets, it's still somewhat risky because Rodgers could leave after a year and you could be stuck with a somewhat big contract. But I think there's a much higher chance for the Jets to make that kind of push with the roster they have around him, or will have around him if he goes there. But I think for the Titans, they sort of seem far off in a few different areas. And so that's why if I was the Titans, I don't think it would make much sense. I did also see earlier today there was some kind of rumor floating around that supposedly the Titans are trying to move up into the top 6 in this draft, supposedly. Who knows? Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But I think that makes much more sense to them, to try to get a young quarterback who they can build around, where they're not banking it all in 1 year, where they seem to be lacking in lots of different areas. But as a Packers fan, I hope this is true. I hope everyone is calling Brian Gutekunst. I hope everyone is saying, Brian Gutekunst, we want to give you all of our first-round picks. Please take them. And that will help the Packers because, competition in a, when you're trying to get a trade done, obviously having competition, other teams who are interested in Rodgers would help. And so that could make the Jets decide to say, you know what, okay, there actually may be a risk that another team comes in and swoops up Aaron Rodgers. I think it's not out of the realm of possibilities that were to happen if the Jets don't give Brian Gutekunst what he really wants. So I hope this is true. I hope the Titans have reached out. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't. We just don't really know. But I just don't think it makes much sense for Tennessee to make a big push for Rodgers right now with their entire situation. But to finish it all off, I honestly think that the Jets sort of put themselves in a interesting and not, in my opinion, not the best situation to basically say Rodgers is 100% going to be our quarterback, unless, as we talked about this one theory a few weeks ago, unless a trade is already agreed to and they're just waiting till draft day to really decide exactly what picks are swapped, and I covered that a few weeks ago. Unless that is the case, I don't see why they would say that, just because you basically tell your fan base Rodgers will be our quarterback. Then Brian Gutekunst is sitting back there in his office in Green Bay saying, so you're telling your organization, your fan base, that Rodgers is their quarterback. Okay. I like that. Now you're very desperate for Rodgers to come to your team, because if the Jets don't end up getting Rodgers, if they don't end up making a trade for Rodgers, the Jets fan base, I don't think they're going to like it. And I think that if Robert Saleh were to struggle in the next couple of years, he won't be here for much longer if he sort of fumbles this bag right now when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. So I think that even if it takes a while, I do believe the Jets will give Brian Gutekunst what he wants. That's just my opinion, and you can agree with it, disagree with it. Everyone has their own idea of the situation, but that is my take on what's going on right now. But I just wanted to break down, sort of go into that rumor, give my thoughts on it. Who knows if it's true? As I said, you can decide for yourself if you think it's true or not true. But we will see if something happens as this draft comes up, because it should be coming. I mean, it is coming up soon, and I would love if a trade got done before the draft and the Packers got at least 2 second-round picks. That would be nice to be able to bolster this team around Jordan Love on the offense, on the defense. If you would like to stay up to date with Packers things, my writing, you can subscribe to the newsletter down below. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers on there in the next few months. I think we gained like 100 the past week, and so we're 300 or 400 away. So if you want to read some of that stuff and support the newsletter, feel free to subscribe by putting your email in down below. But I appreciate all you guys for watching, for all the support you've given to this channel over the years. It means a lot, and I'm very grateful for you guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.